Hey, Pat, can you hear us? Oh, you just.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. We see you now. Better than
Very
last
good.
time.
The wonders of improved technology.
I know we got a couple of guys that have to be out of here before 5 or at 5 o'clock at the absolute latest. So I think everybody's here that's going to be here. I think so. Are you ready for us?
I'm ready.
We'll just go ahead and get started and get this meeting underway so we can be done in time to get everybody out in good shape. So I call the meeting to order. Sean, roll call, please.
Eisman. Here. Poinkus. Here. I'm here.
Oh,
Matt Brish.
Here. Thank you, Sean.
Rich Phelan.
Here.
Beanstra.
Present.
Bishevitz is gone. And George.
Here.
And we have alternates Hanson and Clark as well.
All right. I guess we can, first before we will adopt the minutes, but as you noted, I'm going to defer to the city legal counsel. I had considered offering some amendments or some statements on the June 4th where there's some references to, I just thought that probably could have been left out. Mr. O'Connell convinced me that it's better just to let it go, that they didn't need a specific address, that it was okay to leave it as is unless Pat changed his mind in the last 48 hours. So not going to mess with that. So you've all got the minutes from the 16th of June. Hope you had a chance to look them over. If you want a minute or two to do that, we can take a quick.
Please do, because that was the one. That was a tough one. That was when we had some echoing and there was a lot of
Yes.
piecing things together. So.
I think you did a bang up. You did a bang up job, and I would move to approve the minutes as submitted.
Really setting the bar high.
Any second?
Second.
We got a motion second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. We have no new communications. Yes, Pat? Oh, I thought you said something.
No, I'm sorry, I just cleared my throat.
Okay. Our next purpose, down to the, back to the city council. We ended the last meeting, I emailed out what I kind of interpreted and what I kind of had from notes. Obviously, we've kind of done the first part. The only thing that was, we were talking about, get my numbers, appointments 11A and changing it with what Pat had suggested. People seem to have some agreement with that. And that's kind of where we left off, one of the issues we left off with. Any thoughts on that, leaving it, putting it in there? Pat, do you want to read, do you remember what you said in that section?
Did everybody get Pat's? Okay. That was the.
Yeah, I mean, I see where we removed the language. It looks like we're talking about removing the language of section 2.05 and replacing with that language.
Which one is?
And I think that's fine. I was going to say that the 2.05 needs to be reinserted, but I think that we could go with the language as changed because I don't think it's terribly different than what's there now.
Pat, is that the section where it says the council may appoint a city administrator with the power set forth in the code of ordinances for such a
Yes.
position? Okay.
Subject to the requirements of Iowa law and the balance of this charter. And it currently says and prescribe the manager's powers and duties and compensation. That could be added to that clause. I think it might make sense to say that, because that is what the council does.
And what was that again? And set the manager,
Like, right after it says,
May I ask
I
where
don't,
we're at?
yeah, I don't think,
Where
That-
are we
that-
at?
on-
This for the July 2nd email?
I sent out copies of that with it included, just,
says the-
one day last week.
It has my language, but I'm wondering if right before the comma, after for such position, we add the language and prescribe the administrator's powers, duties, and compensation.
And that language is in there right now, right, Pat?
Yeah, it is.
In that first sentence, okay.
It is. But it kind of comes out if we use my language, and I think I should add it in. I think it should say, the council may appoint a city administrator with the power set forth in the code of ordinances for such a position and prescribe, maybe just prescribe, because you're repeating yourself, maybe just say, and prescribe compensation for the administrator's compensation.
So on his email, it's on page 4.
4 of 4, that one.
I think that's the one I sent out to. I think, yeah.
Because it says the council may appoint a city manager. And we're
Which email from Dave?
Would have been,
710, it's 2 of 2.
He sent it at 1:43 PM
Two of
today.
2 of 2.
no,
And then
I sent it to you today.
Yeah,
I can-
2 of 2.
It might have been sent to you guys
And
earlier,
which
but I
attachment?
got it today.
C?
Yes, council C, yeah.
And what clause in there are we looking at?
It's right towards the end.
We're
It's,
replacing
it's actually under 11A.
replacing 11A, instead of just saying the council may appoint a city manager, or the language that was previously there, it'll say, the council may appoint a city administrator with the power set forth in the code of ordinances for such a position and set the administrator's compensation, subject to the requirements of Iowa law and the balance of his charter.
Got it, Joe?
That's what I'm proposing to put in there, which I think covers
Yeah.
pretty much everybody's concerns about that.
And this is under,
Right.
this is under the city council's
Yep.
2.03?
Go to page 4.
Yep.
That- So where we left off was that 11A was the only thing we didn't formally adopt, because he was gonna send verbiage over to us. So that's the
Okay.
last thing we have to do with the
That-
council
right.
section, then we can jump to the mayor.
Okay.
Can you guys
And
see
that-
that?
You got it, Joe? Okay.
It's not on the screen in front of us, but it's on the wall.
Oh, there, okay, there,
Not sure.
Trying to get this not to show 4 pages in one, but
yeah.
it's not doing that, but this is what I'm talking about
I
right
have,
here.
I have some copies if somebody needs a hard copy. I had them print off a couple if you need a quick hard copy of it. You got it?
Good with it. Just tell me again, Pat, what you added.
The only thing I added is, and set the administrator's compensation right here. That's all I'm adding to it, because
Oh, okay, gotcha.
the rest of it is kind of redundant with what that first clause says. I mean, obviously, you're setting forth with the power set forth in the code of ordinances, you don't need that other language that was in that clause, so I just added and set the administrator's compensation, which was already in the other code, it just should be reinserted.
And keep in mind, probably the major change here is city manager versus city administrator.
Yes.
Something that we talked about had needed to be changed all throughout the charter.
Correct.
Yeah, and the code itself too. There's a bunch of, I mean, that's not you guys' job, but the staff and I are gonna have to clean that up after you guys are done.
Yeah. Is that fair? Any questions to Pat on that particular, and/or anything else you want to address? I guess I hesitate to ask since we, on this, in the council section, that is your burning desire to include?
One other thing I wanted to mention is that, I looked at the Iowa code on our form of government, and it, at 372.135, it specifically gives the duty of appointment, discipline, discharge, and that kind of thing to the city council under that form of government. So I don't think anything I suggested in my language that beefs up the powers of the mayor conflicts with any of that. So I see no problem with that, but I wanted to alert you all that if you think, you see any revisions that you're making that purport to give the mayor control over or direct influence on, other than just his input, of course, that's perfectly fine, on hiring, discipline, or termination, like crossing over the line, that would probably not be lawful to do unless we abandon the idea of the city administrator altogether and go back to the mayor form. You've got to, it looks to me like from the Iowa code, you got to pick your poison. Once you appoint an administrator, then it's the council's job strictly to hire, discipline, and terminate. And the mayor, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think this conflicts, can have all the input in the world on that. He just can't make the decision because that's the council's decision. I think that's what the code means. I think what we're doing is fine, though. I think what we added about, the mayor being the liaison and the communication piece and asking for reports, reporting to the council on the performance of the administrator, those kinds of things, that's probably fine because it doesn't cross the line. That's just.
Okay, so, but, Pat, so we can finalize the city council section, I
Before you
think,
jump into that,
before we get into this,
yeah. I guess.
I would, if we need a motion, I'd make a motion that we adopt Pat's suggestion for 11A under council 2.03.
We have a motion. Do we
I'll
have a
second.
Let's do a quick roll call on that. We will review all this again. Maybe before we're done, we can discuss the idea of some public meetings, but we'll get to that later. But, so we'll review all this again, but we'll take a quick roll call vote. And this will at least get us the first go-around of the city council change.
Okay, Eisman,
Yes.
Blinkus,
Yes.
Connell, yes. Frisch,
Yes.
Phelan,
Yes.
Feenstra,
Yes.
Shevitz is absent, and George.
Yes.
Okay, passes unanimously.
All right.
Well, actually, I didn't ask you
Yes.
because you weren't on there.
I'm not
So
I'm
you
not
were-
here.
you were
I'm not
there,
here.
no. Sorry. Vickers, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Now we can jump into the mayor. I also sent out the one with Pat's suggestion for replacing 4A.
Oh, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, before we jump into that,
Okay.
could I just ask Pat a quick question?
Sure.
On that 11B, in that first sentence, it talks about the appointments of city boards, commissions, committees are not effective unless approved by the city. Is city defined somewhere else to be more specific? The city as either the council or the council and the mayor, or I just don't know if there's ambiguity with that.
I agree with
the
you,
city.
Matt. I agree with you, Matt. That's a good point, because all power of the city is vested in a city council. That's straight out of the code and out of our code. So wherever it says that there needs to be approval of anything, it really ought to say the city council if it's that type of thing, if it's a board or commission or something like that, unless it's something delegated to a specific officer somewhere else in the code. So I think you're right. It probably should say city council there.
I have a point of order. Who's keeping track of these changes? Scott was doing it. All right.
Unless somebody else wants to do it.
No, thank you.
Can we just insert council? I was just looking at if there's, in the code, is there any definitions page of things that says city refers to city council anywhere, or
No. And that's a good point, David. Probably ought to say that, except where otherwise indicated, city means city council, because there are certain things, like, for example, the city administrator appoints the chief and the council approves, right? That's a specific example of where you would, you wouldn't use the word city there, you'd say the city council approves. But city, when you're referring to the city generally, you mean the city council, because that's the only ultimate authority there under the law, except where specifically delineated that others have authority. So,
Is it to find some place to put it, some type of definitions, or is that in the code somewhere? Of course, we could do it for,
I think to be precise, we should say city council whenever we mean city council here. And everything we recommend up to the council in our charter language, we should say city council when we mean that, and never say the city in our charter.
I think for the sake of brevity, I would, if we need a motion, fine, let's, in paragraph 11B, let's add the word council after the second city. So shall not become effective unless approved by the city council, except as otherwise blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't think we need a motion for that, but I'd second it if we're gonna have one. Let's move on.
yeah.
Sorry to
over-engineer.
No, you're one.
And we'll take that as, somebody will look at it, see if there's any other references similar to that, and we can fix that up as.
Pat cleans up the Scrivener's errors, right?
Yeah,
He
that
loves
would-
doing that.
yeah.
He's gonna do that in his time, not ours.
Yeah. Then we'll move on to the, thank you, move on to the mayor's section. You have a copy of what Mr., the city legal counsel
If we had a motion
suggested.
and a second, do we need to vote on it, or did it withdraw?
We need to vote on it, or just assume?
We could do it
can vote
quickly.
on it.
Voice vote.
Voice vote, yeah.
All in favor of John's motion, Rich's second, about
Aye.
inserting council?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good.
Thank you.
Now we want to, you've got the section 11, or the mayor section, with the suggestion from Pat on the, and I'm assuming replacing 4A with his verbiage concerning the mayor and their duties. I bet you seemed to have a comment earlier.
No,
Oh.
not with this.
Okay.
I'd like a chance to first talk about it.
Well, that's what,
particularly have an issue with it.
okay, well,
I mean,
I think we probably just go right down A, and just kind of voice it, consensus, just make sure we're on
Yeah.
the same page. A,
Right.
is everybody good with A, and then we'll go B, and,
yeah,
A is good,
you like that? Okay.
yeah, that says it.
B is good.
B is good.
You're saying on the official wording or the current charter?
The,
Well, this is
the
just
substitute wording?
Okay, off this email
yeah,
from the
yeah.
2 point, okay,
Can
I
I-
just want to make sure we're.
Yes, Pat?
You're right, I was looking at.
Can I make a quick suggestion? I see that we have a redundant sentence in here. It says that, in my draft, it says the mayor shall be the presiding officer of the city council. Well, it says that in B. You see that below there? This sentence is almost identical to this one.
Right.
I think we should take this language here that says the mayor is the official representative of the city. Cut that, put that here.
Pat, are you sharing your screen?
Man,
'Cause I can't see yours.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And Pat, we haven't gotten that far yet, so.
Are we looking, we're
I
looking
thought
at
we were on that
section
paragraph. I'm sorry, I jumped the
2.04,
gun.
1A, correct? Because he's referring to 4A.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm way ahead of you guys. I apologize.
Okay.
kind of what I thought.
Oh, okay.
That's what, okay.
Yep.
Was our,
Well, I don't think there's any issue with A, B, or C, unless
Yeah.
we decide we want the mayor to serve 2-year terms, which I would not recommend.
yeah. We go there, and if we do that, salary is second. I don't know that there's, because I think that's pretty much the same verbiage as the council salaries. And
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
see
think
any
that's,
issue.
vacancies, isn't that pretty much following state code, Pat? On the
Yes.
mayor? So-
Yes.
If we did like that Iowa City version, though, the mayor would have more power, right, than this situation?
Not necessarily. Well, because in Iowa City,
It's
they
kind of-
elect council members, and then the council members elect the mayor from among themselves. And I don't know, I can't
You
remember what.
Might have been referring to Leclerc.
No, it was Iowa City.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
And
and,
that changes the makeup of the actual city government when the mayor's a voting
Yeah.
member.
Correct.
So
You-
we
you-
can't do, like, once we've picked how
Well,
we're
and-
made up, we can't change that.
The other thing is that one, it is then for 2 years. So however many years your council people are elected for, but then the council elects the mayor for 2 years,
right,
and the mayor gets to vote.
but then they also, they have staggered terms, I believe, like we do. So every 2 years, there's new
Yeah.
people elected, so.
Understand?
Yeah. And again, that would be a change in the form. Pat, would that be correct?
Yeah, that would be a change in the form of government. It would have to be, it'd have to be voted on along with the 5-member, going from 7 to
And-
5.
I just offered it more as a suggestion,
Yeah.
before we go farther down.
Right.
If we want to give the mayor more power, that would be a.
Well,
an-
that's
an-
part of what's in this.
An option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in 4A, that language is designed to make the mayor more powerful without changing our basic system.
You got that.
There's a chief executive officer, right?
Right.
Yeah, it says chief executive officer, the mayor is the official representative of the city, the mayor's, and so on. I mean, I don't think that's conflicting.
Chris?
You want it?
Chris?
Okay, so are we good? We're good with 1, A, B, and C, I think.
I think that, and two,
And
salary.
2.
I just.
Vacancy is 3, we can't do much with that.
I agree.
Now we get to 4A. This is where Pat's wording is. Is this where you want to eliminate the one sentence, Pat? I mean, I guess, what other inputs on
Yeah,
that overall?
I'm just suggesting that because we already say in 4B that the mayor is the presiding officer of the council, that we take it out of A. And because the language existed, the mayor is the official representative of the city already, I've just put that in and place it. See that? Where I've got this?
Yep, so we're replacing all of 4A with the 4A in red.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the existing 4A is being, I maybe didn't make that clear, but I assume that, I made an assumption that would people figure that out, but.
yeah, you do.
So we're substituting all that. We're getting our tech guy.
That's it right there. No, that's.
Do you
Two.
charge for that work?
Are you able to see what I'm sharing or not? I can't tell.
Sean's working on it. Dave, do you have another copy of this?
Yeah, the mayor one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is there.
Now it's there. Got it, Sean.
You said you did forward that in an email.
Legible?
Yeah,
No.
Kind of. It's pretty
It was
I
big.
don't have my
council one,
glasses
too.
on, however.
there were 2 attachments to that.
Yeah, now it's
But
much,
That's why I made,
even I can read that, Sean.
yeah.
Reader's
I didn't
Digest,
send you the
easy
right
reader.
card, Chris.
Let Dave get it.
I don't see the
I'm
section.
not changing anything. I'm just getting rid of a sentence that already exists, and then I'm moving a sentence that already exists into paragraph A instead of where it was.
I'm still trying to find the sentence he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not,
I'm not seeing it in
Well,
there.
because the proposed added language has this.
Right after chief
And
executive officer, the
existing
mayor shall be the presiding
already
officer of
Oh.
the city council,
Oh,
and
that
that's the
one.
same as the opening
So-
line of 4B.
Okay.
but
so
why
we-
not just
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah,
get
Okay.
rid of A and B?
got it. Okay.
Or B at least.
so I got rid of it in A, and because it's already in B.
Scroll,
And then
scroll
I-
up a little bit, will you, Pat? Just scroll up so they can see where they're on the screen
Right,
there.
that's enough. There you go. Oh,
So the
Yeah.
paragraph now begins, the mayor is the official representative of the city,
Yep.
period. Instead of saying the mayor is the presiding officer of the council, because it already says that in B below.
Yep.
Because it's kind of set up that way to show that's a separate duty of the mayor, and I'm cool with that. I think that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that too.
In fact, the existing section A, the mayor's official representative of the city, we're deleting that to replace it or are you leaving that in there, as well?
No, I'm leaving it in.
Okay,
I'm saying, because he is, that really is kind of how Scott functions. I mean, he goes to DC for us, he goes to ribbon cuttings, he goes
Okay.
out to talk to businesses when we develop them, and it
So-
it kind of is what the mayor is expected to do, so I left that in.
so what we have what I put in here is, as in red as A would become section B. Are we renumbering or just
No, it's just,
adding to?
it's an amplified section A.
Okay, perfect. Got it.
Okay, what I'm looking at on the screen is slightly different than what I'm looking at in the email you
Yeah,
sent.
I-
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
Just so
that's,
we're clear, we're talking about this, we're gonna share this piece, right? I don't know, is this in Pat's computer right now?
yes.
Well, I
Is
have
that-
it in Dave's Word draft.
That's mine. That should be the
It's
same.
not.
Isn't
It's
it?
not,
Maybe I
what I'm
can-
looking at is different from what,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
It says the mayor.
That's
shall be the
because,
presiding
that's
officer.
because Pat just changed this.
Oh, I eliminated the mayor's official representative of the city by accident, so.
But it also says-
You had it in there, Dave, but it was floating up here, right above
Yeah.
mayor,
Yeah.
right next to mayor's powers and
Okay.
duties, and I just moved it down, that's all.
Okay.
We've had a lot of conversation, communication-based, and I think that, and whether or not we should do more prescription within the city charter, et cetera, and I think this is a great, for lack of a better word, a great compromise. I think it puts in writing some things that we want to see happen regardless of who the people are in the various positions. And it is part of the charter. I don't think it bogs it down. So I am very comfortable with section 4A as presented with the amplification. I think it checks the boxes that we have been talking about.
So, yeah, I would agree with you, that's what we discussed last time. All I'm trying to get to is, we're jumping around from one
Oh,
document
no,
to the
no,
next
no,
here.
I just
And
was
I'd like to know
Yeah.
what we're saying yes
Yeah.
to.
There's
the government, we're here to help.
There's a hard copy.
I tell you what, no,
No, 'cause
at
that's
this
still not-
point,
'cause
That's
he-
not-
no.
all I'm
no,
asking for
yeah.
is, after we're
that's
done our
not
discussion,
included
let's,
in that.
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
make,
he took that out, okay.
let's make sure that we
That's why
have,
we're saying
Okay.
the changes are different.
Okay.
Can I make a?
let's make sure,
Go ahead, Joe.
let's make
No.
sure that whatever we're discussing here gets documented and shared electronically to everybody here. Because these paper copies, I get a dozen of them every damn time I sit down in here. What I'd like to understand is what we're agreeing to. The minor wording changes here, that between what's in the document you sent, Dave, and what is on the screen is minor, but all I'm trying to say is,
And,
let's have one document.
no, and we can work on that. Pat made some changes, so.
Hey, Pat, did, Scott
we
was
can-
using one Word document that it was, actually had the track changes, feature turned on. Did he share that with you?
I'm
No,
not
I'm
sure.
Okay. I would like to, it would be nice if we could utilize that document each time we come into that, because even if I have to sit over there and type out some changes,
That's
that
kinda
we're
where I'm
talking
going,
about?
yeah,
I
I
think-
mean,
Because then we all have a version that we're looking at, but
Yeah.
it would be nice if there was one document, even if
One
it's somebody
document?
sitting over there, just,
I
does this
will-
look right? And
yeah,
then
one
we save
document,
and-
if we change it, the change is documented because you're tracking changes.
Yeah.
And we know what's going on. Right now, it's a new copy every time I sit down.
Yeah,
I will try to get that out to you.
I'm just saying, even if we had it here,
Yeah,
in the room, so that way, every time we come in here,
we got.
if one of us has to sit over there and make the changes, we'll make the changes.
Yeah,
Sean, I think that's an excellent idea. I thought Scott was going to continue to do that. And I think as we get into the next meeting, we need to briefly review all the changes we've made. And so we need a document that's up to date.
master document.
That shows the changes in using Word's ability to document what we're changing. If things are crossed out, they should be crossed out. And if, we're not starting with a new document every time. We'll
Hate
never
to
get
say
there.
it was probably a lot easier for Adams and Jefferson working off the same damn piece of paper, where they sat there, no, get rid of that word and put this one instead, and they just crossed it off. Until it was two guys, you know. They got it right.
but if everybody's good with A, there was B, I guess, is there more discussion, what do we need, and not how far you want to jump ahead overall?
Can we have Pat read section A with the changes that we've discussed that are there?
Yeah, I can read it. It currently says, the draft that I currently just revised, and I think I see it up on the screen in the council chambers.
I'm not
Behind-
wearing my glasses, so if you could read it, that'd be great.
Yeah, I just want to make sure the sharing is actually working. It says Chief Executive Officer, period. The mayor is the official representative of the city. The mayor, as the highest executive official elected by all the citizens, functions as a communicative liaison between the city council and the city administrator when the council is not in session. The mayor, through a request to the city administrator, has the power to examine all records of the municipal departments, to evaluate their functions, and to call for special reports from the city administrator as may be necessary to keep the city council informed. The mayor has the power to request city council review of any deficiencies identified regarding the performance of the city administrator or subordinate staff. The mayor shall have no executive authority over the functions specifically delegated by the city council to the city administrator under the Code of Ordinances, nor shall the mayor supervise the city administrator or direct the activities of the city staff responsible to the city administrator. However, the mayor shall participate in all hiring, discipline, termination, and performance reviews of the city administrator as a non-voting participant.
Thoughts, changes, anything you,
My only question, this is a legal question, Pat, is definition of shall. Is that means he has to do it, or maybe he'll do it, or? I'm
It
referring,
implies, I think it means that that's his duty and he's supposed to do there. He shouldn't say, well, this really isn't my bailiwick, I'm gonna bail on this meeting. I think he should be there and
yeah,
participate.
I'm comfortable with that.
I mean, I know in the past, Mark used to say, well, look, this really isn't my call, I'm not gonna make this call, so I'm just gonna leave, and he would leave during evaluations of the administrator, but you can get rid of shall if you want and say may, and that would be the mayor's prerogative if you say may, so I guess
No,
that's.
I'm definitely against
I think
that.
shall is a better terminology there.
Shall means shall.
Okay, I don't have any
that's
questions.
good? Then we go to, I guess the next is B, which would be, the mayor is that's the one we left, the presiding officer of the council. The mayor may call special meetings of the council when necessary. Any, we left that in there. The mayor is not a voting member of the council. The mayor may enter into all discussions and express views. Yep. That's pretty standard, I mean, unless we change things, Pat, unless we change things drastically, there's a hard way to is there a hard way to get to the mayor having a vote without changing everything? Into the council discussions, then you end up with an even
you have
number
to-
of council members?
You have to pick one of the forms in the city code if you're going to change the form of government, and that gets into another form of government where you can set it up that way by referendum and change the form of government, but if he's going to vote, then that's a different form of government, in my opinion. I think, I don't know what Matt Brish thinks, but as I read the code, it says the council shall select one of these forms, right? So I don't think you can blend two forms of government by having the mayor suddenly vote now.
I like C as is.
Yeah. I think we've kind of chosen a path of government. I think that just probably needs to stay. And
Yes, sir.
Yeah, unless you're willing to, make that leap and say, we want the citizens to make that the new government where the mayor's going to vote now.
Okay. Section D under that, of course, I'm assuming that pretty much follows the state code, Pat, about sign, veto, or take no action.
Yeah.
There's really
That's
nothing,
pretty-
nothing and again, I think these mayors are responsible for enforcement of all laws, provisions of this charter, and actions of the council.
I was just trying to read D.
D,
I think
which
it's
one?
all-
Oh, D,
I
oh,
think that's all accurate.
okay, Rich is taking a quick look at D. Yeah, I think that it's basically the same outline as we have in the council section, that, how the council reacts to that.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Enforcement of all laws, provisions of the charter, and actions of the council. Again, some people would argue, and I've heard this explanation, that this also gives the mayor, if you want to interpret it one way, some oomph, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, that if the mayor thinks that somebody, the council or the city administrator is not following the provisions of the charter, or some council member is not following the rules, it's their responsibility to address that. And I don't think there's any description of how, but some people would argue that gives the mayor the opportunity to address that some way or another, whether it's on an individual basis or it's something to bring to the council's attention. That's one interpretation of that section that I've gotten from an attorney. But there may be a stretch, Pat may not agree, but that's,
I don't see anything wrong with E
Yeah.
as it's written.
yeah. There's no, they didn't want to say suggesting a change, they were just suggesting an interpretation that would offer the mayor some opportunities to, they couldn't supervise anything, but again, if they saw something not being done properly by the city administrator, by a fellow council member, they had the opportunity or the obligation to.
Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. But that, again, that's just one interpretation from one attorney who was talking to me about it. I'm not sure I'm not sure of the interpretation, but
So Pat, just kind of like a practical question, that letter E, saying the mayor is responsible for enforcement of all laws, does that mean if the mayor sees someone violating the code or the law, the mayor would be able, worst case scenario, file suit to help, instigate the enforcement of that law? Or, would it be the mayor or
think
the
you're
council?
right. I think you're right, Matt. I think that theoretically, I've never seen it done, but I could imagine a scenario where if the council did something illegal and he felt that none of the citizens made any injunction against it. Nobody filed suit out in district court to stop it or anything. The mayor could, as a plaintiff, file suit under a writ of mandamus to become the plaintiff against the city, theoretically. Now, whether that's a conflict of interest, I don't know, but he's acting under his power under subparagraph E. I've never seen a mayor do that. The only thing I've ever seen mayors do is they will make verbal statements that I don't believe we're following the law or we're following our procedures here. and do whatever he can. And one thing I think it peripherally refers to is under emergency powers. There's an emergency power in our code where the mayor can direct the cops to do whatever is necessary. Right, we got rioting, so he, if the council's not in session, the city administrator isn't around, or even if the city administrator is around, he could call Kevin Jurian and say, I direct you to call everybody off of leave and get them in here and go take care of that. Scott did some things like that during the derecho, I know, and, had to issue some orders, and, we talked about some orders he was gonna issue that I told him were legal to do, and he went ahead and did them. The only thing he can't do is issue illegal edicts that are outside his authority, right? But, I don't, unless you go to court on a writ of mandamus, which would be weird, and I've never seen a mayor do it. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, I just haven't heard of it. But I think that's what that's saying, is that technically the mayor, if he really thinks people are just literally breaking the law, I mean, by that time, it would have been pretty well highlighted for the entire city council, I would think. And it would already been corrected, but if theoretically it didn't, a judge could agree and say, well, I think the mayor's right. Whatever happened with that ordinance has got to be reversed because it wasn't passed correctly or something. I don't know, Matt, have you ever heard of any mayor doing that anywhere?
I haven't. And, yeah, but just reading that sentence where it says the mayor is responsible for the enforcement, it seems like it really puts, the burden or the responsibility, on the mayor, like it's almost in an affirmative duty.
So that, one of my thoughts there was.
I think it's
should that
also
be
an affirmative duty of the administrator too, in the administrator section of the code.
That would be my only suggestion. If that is something that we leave in there, then does that verbiage need to change to the mayor shall be responsible? That is a firm duty of his, and if he's negligent in that, he's also responsible for the
Yeah.
The question,
repercussions.
And I just didn't know if we wanted to put that responsibility on the mayor or not,
Yeah.
if it's more of.
But
I
it-
think
is
it's-
it-
Have the ability.
Clearly, that's what we've been saying, it's
Right.
the chief executive officer.
but yeah, that's why it says that's where that's where, I just had one attorney talk to me about it. I mean,
I like
And-
Sean's idea of changing that to shall be, because it's consistent with the use of shall throughout
Right.
the document, and I,
I would have a couple questions. If we do, well, either if it remains as is, or changes, what, and maybe Pat could, number one, is this phrase part of the state code? Two says, what is responsible for the enforcement? Because again, they could say, again, if the city administrator, they don't think is doing something following the charter or following the actions of the council, what's the responsible? Is it going to the city administrator on a personal basis, one-on-one, going, hey, I don't think you're doing this? Is it bringing it to the council for their consideration? It's not always going to court. What step is responsible when you say that? Because then we get into some discussion. What is the mayor supposed to do if they're responsible? There's no direction, I don't think, unless there's some code verbiage about that. What is their
So-
steps? Pat,
Honestly, I don't think anybody knows, but one thing I can tell you is, can you see that on the screen from the city code? It says, the first thing that the city administrator is supposed to do is supervise enforcement and execution of city laws, right? So what that tells you is that what we're looking at here is arcane language from the pre-administrator era when you look at E. Because we say elsewhere that he's supposed to do things that are not otherwise delegated to the city administrator, right? Well, this is in conflict with, what if the problem I see is, what if the city administrator pursuant to his powers and duties thinks one thing needs to be done to enforce and execute the city laws, and the mayor thinks enforcement of the laws requires something different. Now we have a conflict between two different officials. So Dave
In
brings
my
up a good
opinion, that
point,
needs
and
to
I
go
don't
to
know
the
if there's
elected
a,
official that answers to the public. So whatever that means for our verbiage, something as serious as that.
Aaron's right, it needs to go to the elected official.
I
But the
mean, you could leave it in there and hope that no conflict ever arises. That'd be one option.
Did we just open a discussion that hasn't come up before? Because I think that's.
Oh, it comes up once in a while. I've seen it before. And usually it's worked out. The mayor and the city administrator both agree that, you know, the police need to be called out because there's disorder or whatever, and there's no problem. But I don't think you necessarily need to take it out. But you do need to be aware that the city administrator is also responsible for making sure nobody's breaking the law in town.
I don't see those things in conflict unless, like you said, they're in the extreme case where they totally disagree on something.
Yeah.
Right. And practically speaking, you meet with the police chief, you talk to the chief, he comes up with a plan, it's agreed, and you go.
Ultimately, you want the highest elected official to have that authority. The fact that it's, I mean, he could,
As I see it, Rich, the administrator's job is more to execute.
Correct.
Execute, right? Yeah, Scott could say, this is what I think needs to happen, and Matt would say, yes, sir, I'm gonna execute that, because that's my job, to execute, supervise enforcement and execution, right? You made the decision that we need to call out the cops, now I'll go ahead and supervise and execute on your behalf, right? So that's
Correct.
how I would see it. Whether or not that's how it would play out if you get some crazy people in office, I don't know, but.
well, and that's where it gets back to the council to fill in to make sure that we're,
Well, that's where it says if the council has some questions, they could the council, if they wanted to refine something, leave it in the charter as is, any more detail is not our position, but if the council wanted to refine some of that and assign some more specificity to that, that's something they could do if they wanted to. Yes,
I wouldn't touch it.
I wouldn't.
You can add the shall be, that's not a problem, but.
Yeah. Is it worth changing is to shall? Are they kind of mean the same thing? Pat? He's not.
I just think, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. I don't think is responsible or shall be responsible is that different, honestly. If you are responsible, then you will take action, right?
So let's,
Guys, I can live with either wording. I mean,
let's just leave it.
it means the same
Stood the
thing.
test of time, I mean, it hasn't been a problem, so.
Save a cross out and leave it as is.
Sounds good.
Any,
Sounds good.
the mayor shall appoint the mayor pro tem who acts as mayor during the mayor's absence. Again, I think that's pretty,
Standard.
state code is pretty standard. I guess that would bring the end of the mayor's section. What else any thoughts, changes, ideas? Pat, are we missing anything? I know you suggested the verbiage there at the beginning to kind of, clarify and amplify the role of the mayor and
I have one
I don't have
question.
anything else to add. I think it looks good.
Aaron?
When it says the mayor has the power to request city council review any deficiencies identified regarding the performance of the city administrator or subordinate staff, that doesn't mean it can only be done annually, right? So like if a situation arises that it needs to be dealt with, they could do it at any point in time?
He could say, he could write a message to the council by email or some other means that says, I've identified that we've got this deficiency, and I would ask the council to take this up.
Okay.
That's what that means, and then it goes on an agenda, and if there's gonna be a review of the city administrator, then 21.51I kicks in, and we go through all that process. I would say that in order to make a system effective, we should probably amend our city administrator's contract and all contracts going forward that says that the administrator will cooperate with any request for a closed session, and that signing the contract is standing permission, a standing request to go into closed session. Now, I say that now, and I don't know, Matt, if you've seen this decision out of Cedar Rapids, Teague versus Cedar Rapids, basically, where I'm getting a little off track here, but you can't even, when you go in and review a city administrator now, you got to have a massive finding that it's actually going to harm their reputation, and it really does complicate things. I'm just giving you that as a footnote.
I want to hear your explanation on that.
Well, I want to say something before we get into the weeds here, because we're not going to finish this today. But Aaron, thank you for teeing this up for me. I think language needs to be in here someplace, and I don't know where, whether it be under the council or the mayor or whatever, but I'm just going to read something to you, and then we can munch on it. So, and actually, you've probably seen this when I sent it out a few weeks ago. At a minimum, annual review of the administrator will be required and conducted by the entire council in closed session. New paragraph. Additionally, the mayor will meet with the city administrator at least quarterly to review goals and objectives. Feedback from these meetings will be reported back to the council and, if appropriate, conducted in closed session. And then the last new paragraph, I would say, at any time, acting together, 2 council members may call for a review of the city administrator.
I'm not so sure that you can require him to go in closed session, because he or she may want to have it in open, so I think that's.
I'm not worried about the closed
Okay.
session
Yeah,
part.
I think that's something that might be a.
Yeah,
Actually
Rich's language was good in the second part where he said as appropriate, because it may or may not be appropriate depending on what the law requires. And now we got an added complication because of this stupid, I'm sorry to use the word stupid, I shouldn't criticize our appellate courts, but I think it's not going to work out very well, because it says in the decision that you got to come out of closed session if you're not hearing anything negative, right? The problem is you go back out, you get into open session, and you don't know what's going to come out of a council member's mouth. I heard last week you stole from you went down to, you were at the brewery and you stole out of the till there. Is that true? And they say that in front of the public, and we didn't realize that, and now we're in open sessions. We didn't think. I just don't understand why the Court of Appeals thinks that's even remotely workable, because the damage is now done. Anyway, I digress, but
It sounds like it'll be overturned at some point.
it could be, or the legislature could enact a change to 21.51I that says the request of the administrator or the person being reviewed shall be prima facie evidence that reputation will be harmed for purposes of this section, or something like that. It needs to happen, getting back to what Rich is talking about, my suggestion is that be in contract language with the administrator. But it's whatever the committee's pleasure is to what to include, whether that should be in the charter or in an ordinance. I think the charter is more geared toward the form of government than it is, and the powers of the officials, rather than this type of thing, but it's not my fault.
I realize that, Pat, but I think that there's something needs to be in here that requires this responsibility of the council, the administrator, and the mayor. And I don't know what the right wording is. You did a great job on 4A. Why don't you?
Well, and I would say to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying there, piggyback off of it, is my opinion on why it would be valuable in a document like the charter is that contracts can change from administrator to administrator, and whoever's writing it up, whatever attorney you're using at the time. And if it's laid out in our charter that this is an expectation, it will then be in all of the future contracts, where if we amend a contract now, that could potentially be changed if it's not in the charter.
You know, one option would be to pass an ordinance, whether it's the charter or whatever, that just says the city administrator will cooperate with all requests for review by the city council. Just a simple sentence like that. Cooperate doesn't necessarily mean he has to demand a closed session, but it does mean he's got to cooperate. And sometimes, you know, as a council, the council just needs to, I hate to use a sexist phrase, but like man up and just hold the review, even if it's not in closed session. And then that's incumbent upon the city attorney to advise the council about things not to get into and not to say anything you can't absolutely prove, and don't, you know, use slanderous allegations that you don't have evidence for, and just be straight up. And maybe that's what you got to do.
So
given the
Pat,
chief
why not,
decision now.
why not put that one sentence into the charter then, that the administrator is required to cooperate with requests for review? Some language to that effect. And I don't know what section it goes in.
That would probably be the next.
Yeah, that's in the
205,
mayor,
205.
that wouldn't go in the mayor's section.
It might go in the council section, I don't know.
Say-
Or in the
Yeah.
or in the administrator's section, I don't know.
Yep.
yeah, they-
Anyway, I can send out this wording to you all, and we can munch on it
yeah.
when we're meeting again. Did we decide that?
Yeah.
Can you, Rich, when you send that out, would you copy me in on it as well? I may have some ideas of where to stick it, like.
I absolutely, be kind.
Yeah. Be kind. Yeah, no,
I will definitely include you, Pat.
No, I wasn't trying to say. I
yeah.
think I was misunderstood.
We know what you were saying.
We're just having some
Where
fun
to-
with
where to
you.
insert the language, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
And how to phrase it in a way that doesn't get a foul with T, you know, it's just, you gotta, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We can,
We're good.
we can look at that. The mayor section, that's the one section there. I know we got to get out of here. Are we all, just kind of give me a heads up, we good with what, that section there? We'll find out if there's some places to put Rich's suggestion about reviews and see how that looks. We'll have that for the next meeting.
And we'll have an updated
I'll
document
have an
that
up-
shows all the
I
changes.
will work
all
on
the-
that in the next,
Well, it's not just you, Dave. I mean,
I think Scott can
Pat's
do
got,
Yeah.
Scott's probably
He
got
started
it.
it. It's on
Yeah.
the drive here somewhere.
yeah, I
He's
got,
pulling it from the drive here.
yeah.
So.
You shouldn't have to recreate the
or Matt
wheel,
can
is
provide
what
it,
I'm
or-
saying.
Or Chris,
Yeah.
one of those two
Yeah.
have it.
I'll get it.
'Cause that would really be helpful at this point to review what we,
Now that we got some things,
We just need access on that computer for it. That's
Yeah.
all we need.
yeah. Got the board, mayor, said, we'll kind of review those for the next meeting. We got the boards, commissions, committees, initiative and referendum, and I do know we had talked early on about maybe some changes in the required signatures for that. We don't know, if we want to look at that. The rest of that after the mayor section is pretty standard stuff. Maybe we can get through that. And we'll look back at some of the other things. I guess those are our priority segments. Also be thinking about, I think we're to the point we can think about how to do public sessions. You want to do 1, 2, how we do them, where we do them, time of day, and I think I think we're to the point now we can kind of see where we can start to maybe put some of those on the calendar, start moving on that.
Do we have to give like official notice on any of that?
yeah, we
For
would, yeah.
public
Like, is there
input.
like a, by law though? Like 60 days
Is
or?
it
Well-
considered a public hearing?
No, we just have, typically just have a public session, and people
Okay,
can
so
come.
that-
4 hours?
Yeah.
So that would
20
just be 24 hours?
Yeah, 24, there's no, that's not a, and we could do one as part of our regular meeting here, and maybe one some other other than City Hall or Erickson Center, and do it in the evening or something, and, you know, hopefully most, if not all, many people can attend. Those are not, that's not it's just picking dates and what seems to work best for the public input. So kind of keep that in mind, what what you might have, what your calendar looks like. I think we can start looking at some ideas for that, trying to keep things moving along here.
Are we meeting on the 30th or?
Well,
August.
that's a good question, because our first Wednesday is actually August 6th, which gives us 3 weeks between meetings. So how do you want to,
I can't do the 30th.
yeah,
We've got a conflict on the 30th as well.
so,
In the 6th
We
it
can-
is.
we can go with, first, we can just have an extra time in between, and unless you want to
Just stick with the first and third. That's-
first and third, we don't mess up our.
Yep.
We get into that calendar somewhere along the way, that you got that odd week in there. Any other question, comments?
So we're just gonna pick
Good
back
of
up for my
order.
clarification. He's gonna finish up the 4A, 204, 4A. Pat will work that, and then we're gonna move on to the city manager. Correct?
Yep.
Yep. We could do that, all good?
Break.
Perfect time?
We're-
A real quick request for you guys, adjourn.
Yes, yes.
In the meeting minutes of June 4th, the home rule of the commission here, it contains an error referencing the Clinton Herald coverage. The statement was placed in the minutes, it was not actually made during the meeting, and it is defamatory toward the Herald and used that way. And so I formally request that it be removed. So, that's all.
Okay. Pat, did you hear that? Pat?
Yeah, I heard it.
That was Chris from the Herald.
Well, the statement says that, somebody read the statement to me again. It said something to the effect of, the council didn't actually discuss the idea of removal of public officials. Is that what it says?
Offline, because people gotta get going.
Yeah.
I don't think the minutes just mention the Herald, do they?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. What the minutes are supposed to reflect is what was actually discussed.
And just wait, Pat, if some people got to go, if you feel like you need to go, because I know Ryan had an appointment, so did Rich.
I mean,
So.
This is kind of important,
yeah,
though.
I mean, I'll stick around for a few minutes.
Yeah, so, okay, talk quick.
I mean, what the committee can do if they want, if it will, I mean, it's not a big deal.
Can I do something here, Pat, that might clarify this? My memory, and I don't have it in front of me, is that the way the minutes got written up, and no against Sean here, is it sounded like the gentleman from the public said those comments.
No, he did
That-
not.
that was- that did not
Just for
happen.
clarification,
But
I went
what-
back, yeah.
All right, Dave, I'm not finished. But what did happen, and I said it myself and several others agreed with me, is that this commission has not discussed recall.
You're correct.
That's what, and if we want to put that in this week's minutes, does that satisfy you?
No,
Because I don't see how we can go back and change minutes that have already
that
been,
wasn't a comment that was actually made during the meeting. It
It-
was an editorial comment stuck into the.
The council can always, the group that created the minutes can always amend the minutes by
I don't believe that's
motion. It's
true.
really simple. You just would say, move to delete the parenthetical in the minutes from whatever date.
We actually
Right.
have a council member here. Maybe she can remember to do that at the meeting if that's the case. If you want to make that motion at your next meeting.
Was that,
It's our minutes to amend, right, Pat?
yeah.
We
it's the
would have to
HRC's
do it.
amendment.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So the HRC can amend its own minutes by saying, move to delete the parenthetical that was objected to by the Clinton Herald, and get a second majority vote, and it's out, and you just republish. But you'd have to republish the minutes, and that's not that big a deal, but if that's what you want to do, I mean, it's not, what's stated in the parenthetical is not inaccurate, it's just in addition to what was actually said, that's,
I disagree.
I mean, what I saw in the minutes was, maybe it does mention the Herald.
it did definitely mention the
I
Herald.
did bring them, but,
You know what? I think Chris has got an email. Let me see.
I don't care, it's not an important point to me. The comment was made that we didn't discuss the
You are correct.
recall. That's all I care about.
Yeah, well, I think it stated something effective contrary to the Herald reporting.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harold did not.
Yeah, you're free to move, delete that if you want, because that's not actually what was said. And so it would be proper to remove it if you want. My only suggestion to Dave was that if it, you know, if people were willing to leave it alone, it could just stay. But you don't have to keep it there. If you want to make a motion right now to remove the parenthetical that references the Herald, you could do that. You could get a second, you could vote to remove it, and we would just republish with that edit. Simple.
I'll make that motion.
May I offer an amendment to that?
Not while I'm here, no.
You know, well, there's a no, I appreciate, there's a reference later in the minutes back to that statement. That also ought to be removed, because there's nothing, if we remove that statement, there's nothing to refer back to.
That
If you
makes
look
sense.
further down to, if you got the copy there, down to my comments, it says refer to editor above, or something to that effect.
Motioning and leaving.
So, if we, just for clarification, if, look for my name.
I've seen it several times, but I don't see it
Has,
referenced back to.
has Rich's motion been seconded yet?
No.
I didn't hear a second.
Second.
We have,
I was gonna say that if somebody wanted to just make a different motion, say, I make Rich's motion, but say any other extraneous references to the same, that would be a good motion to take care of it.
3A2 says recall is not legal in Iowa, see editor note above.
which would be what we're taking out.
Yes.
So, I guess.
Both those comments could be removed.
Okay, so we're gonna go.
Would we,
So I would suggest Matt withdraw his second, and then Matt make that motion, and then we'll go from there.
I withdraw my second and remove what that second motion was.
Okay.
So the motion is to remove the parenthetical concerning the Herald and also the additional comment about what's legal in Iowa. Is that the
well, it
motion?
refers back to the section that we're taking out.
I'll second.
Correct.
So,
All right.
you clear on all
So
that?
both
Sean?
those references will be
We'll get there.
removed.
We'll get there.
Who had the motion again on the second?
Matt
Matt.
had the motion.
John.
John had the second. And we'll just, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ready? Motion adjourned, or meeting adjourned. We're out of here.
There you go.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, guys.